everyone sit him. You're here with Ryan and Matt Pulliam. We are going to get after it today.
Oh my God, bro. You just blew their ears out. Sorry for y'all listening to that. Hold on to your eardrum because them shits are rattling right now. Damn.
Dude, I looked to my right.
This
I looked
is
to my
trade
right.
away segment, baby. This is trade away segment. I told Scotty to bring some damn energy because last one we were a little down and now we got that energy. We're trading players away. Get these players off your team. Don't even touch them with a 6-foot pole. Pretend these people have COVID. Don't even put a mask on these people and kick them to the side. Huh? Come on now. Trade away target, Scotty. I'm going to give it to you right now. It's your boy Jerome Ford. Get the off my team. I do not want Jerome Ford. And you know why I don't want Jerome Ford? Because I think right now currently he is at his ceiling. He scored 2 touchdowns last week. But if you look at the metrics on what he did, boy, he barely got the ball. He barely got anything. I think he was the 4th running back to catch a snap in this backfield until he got something. Jerome Ford currently right now, everyone assumed he was going to take on this bell cow role. Kareem Hunt has now came into the element as far as this backfield that goes on. And to be honest, I don't even know the other people who are in the backfield. It just goes to show, like, why is he the 4th person in this whole entire backfield to take a snap? It doesn't really make sense. I think Jerome Ford is a player that you can sell off and you can get a better piece for something else. And when you're getting people off the waiver wire, I think that one of the most important things, if you can get someone off the waiver wire who has this situation that they get put into. Like, for instance, Madison in the previous years, when Madison gets put in a situation where Dalvin Cook is not there and then he gets a lot of points, and then you can trade away that situational running back or whatever, that position player, into someone who's actually kind of established in the league. I think that's when you can really make leaps and bounds with your team. So with Jerome Ford, I say trade away because I think he's a good piece to trade away to get someone who's more established and a little bit more secure with the situation in the Browns backfield.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, I guess. I don't know. I mean, Kareem Hunt's never really been a running back for the Browns that have he's more been like a third down, get some tough yards back, or a check down or like a screen kind of guy. Yeah. He's never really been like a Nick Chubb ground and pound or your traditional running back, not like a Gibbs. He's more been like or he has been more like a Gibbs, where he's just catching passes out the backfield and blocking for the quarterback. So I think and Jerome Ford, Cleveland's always had decent running backs, but yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from. I could see that. I think because he's not a household name, I don't think you're going to be able to get much for him.
Yeah, it's going to really depend on your league. If your league's someone who likes brand name people, then you're probably not going to be able to you're probably not going to be able to trade them. But if you're in a league where people are really paying attention to what's going on and kind of just also too just a better understanding and more willing to trade for people, I think you're going to get a little bit of value from him. But don't trade him away for just nothing. It's only if it's like decent value, because I think you can get that for what he has done so far. So give me your trade for candidate, baby. Come on, tell me.
Trade for you mean trade away?
Trade away, yeah. Come on.
Trade away. Trading away. I'm trading away Michael Pittman. I think this dude's a fluke.
Oh, the guy who has the most receptions in the league right now?
Yes, I think he's a fluke. I don't think he's I foresee a little ACL in his future.
Oh, ACL.
I foresee a little.
Don't be saying that on Pittman. Damn, boy.
I got my little crystal ball here. I see a little potential injury. I see a little overusage. I see a little too many snaps. I see a little terrible quarterback play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to me. I don't see this guy doing anything coming up here. I think he's a one hit wonder, as they say.
Okay. I mean,
that's all hunches. I don't have any stats to back that up, but
I mean, the thing with Pittman is I think he's one of the only wide receivers that has 8 receptions or more in each game, I believe.
But he only has 1 touchdown.
He does only have 1 touchdown, but currently for where you got Pittman at, he's returned very good on his value.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're getting him in the 8th or 7th round.
Exactly. That's why you want to trade him for like a second round wide receiver, like an AJ Brown or someone that's proven in themselves.
So do you think someone could flip Pittman for AJ Brown?
Potentially.
Would you trade away AJ Brown for Pittman?
Where my team's at, maybe. I need some quick production.
Yeah, I mean,
I would entertain it. I would think about it. It's not like I'd be like auto reject. It'd make me
yeah,
think.
yeah. I mean, it made me think, I guess, a little bit. That's maybe where I slip in Jerome Ford, maybe, then we go get AJ. But
Sure.
yeah, I mean, the thing with Pittman is I do like him because their game script they're going to be in most time it's going to be negative game script. They're not going to be ahead most cases. They're going to be behind, and they're going to want to throw it. And Pittman's a very good target as far as catching it. His A dot used to be super low last year. I don't know what it is this year, but that was one of his biggest issues. But this year, I mean, he's been the man so far. I think this is someone. I mean, we talk about it. I said it earlier talking about Keenan, but you want to trade away people at their highest peak and their highest value. And I believe currently right now, I mean, I don't see Pittman getting any higher. I don't know how low he goes.
That's what I'm saying. I think
Yeah,
Pittman's reached his pinnacle.
yeah, I don't know how low he could go, but I think if you could get some value for him, I definitely think that would be a move if you could, considering yeah, but yeah, so I'm gonna go into mine. Talked about it in the last video. The boy Mostert. He's currently the #1 overall running back. Now, this is because of last week where he put up like 45 some points in the PPR format. I mean, he's on the Miami team. He's a beast. I don't think I think Mostert will continue to do good, but I don't see him lasting the entirety of the year. I think all of a sudden Devon H is going to start to take more, and I see Jeff Wilson's going to come back into the element as well. And then with the mix of those three in between each other, and they're not going to be putting up 70 each week. I think currently right now Mostert's at his all-time high, and you could possibly put him and a piece together maybe to go get some higher up running back. Maybe you could piece him together with someone else to go get Bijan or something. I think that's where you could trade Mostert as far as just trying to put him and then another person together to go and get one of these actually like these top RBs that people are trying to go for, or maybe trying to get someone like a. I mean, I'd be tempted to get like a Josh Jacobs almost with Mostert, maybe even straight
Like a
up
one
for
for
that.
one.
Possibly. I mean, considering
I
what
don't know
Mostert
about
is.
that.
I mean, because I mean, you look at Josh Jacobs. He had the identical thing what he did last year to this year. Exactly the same exact same situation.
Oh, I
And
have Mostert in another league.
oh, do you?
I do, yeah. My
I
other
mean,
league.
I mean, that's just me because I like to trade players who are a little bit more established. And Mostert, he's been good, but he's never been really established. He either get injured or something happens where he gets into
No, I'm
this.
saying. I think you heard me wrong. I'm saying Mostert for Jacobs. I think that's bad for the guy who has Jacobs.
Oh well, I'm saying I think you could tempt someone into getting Jacobs for
That's what
Mostert.
I'm saying. I think it's bad for the person who has Jacobs
Yeah,
to trade away
yeah.
that. I don't think they go for that.
Oh, you don't think they would?
Should I offer right now? See what they say, huh?
You might. I mean, it also depends on their team. All right, it depends what's their record. It depends who do they have.
0-3.
Because a lot of these also play into factors.
So
So if this
let's
team,
do it for example here.
all right, let's look.
So the guy who has Jacobs in my league is my boss. He's the guy that hired me.
Yeah.
He's currently 0-3. He's in dead
Oh,
last place with the least amount of points put up. So his team's ass.
yep. This is
He
the perfect.
has.
Send it to him right now, 1-on-1.
You want me to? One for
Send
one.
it to him. 1-for-1.
Josh Jacobs for Raheem Mostert. He has
Yep.
Justin Fields, DK Metcalf, Christian Kirk, Jacobs, Jerome Ford, Njoku, James Cook, Brees Hall, Zay Jones, Cooper Kupp, Quentin Johnson, Tyler Boyd, Zach Charbonnet.
I'd send it to him. See what he says.
All
I
right,
mean, this is
let's send it.
this PPR format, right?
Yep, same as ours.
All right. Yeah. Send it to him. Send it all.
See what he
Fire
says,
it,
eh?
Scotty. Fire it. Fire it, Scotty. Cha. There we go. Yeah. I'm curious, what does it even say? How does the metric say about it?
So I'm on Yahoo. Yahoo's kind of ass. It doesn't really say
Okay.
like what the trade would be for.
Yeah, I would. I mean, because if you look at Jacobs, he's a bell cow running back. Obviously, his team is not that great this year, but he's going to positively regress. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do the same thing he did last year, but I think
All right.
he's going to be
If he takes that, I'll give you some props.
he's going to be a high end. I think he's going to be a high end RB2. So hopefully he's up right now looking at it. He sees it. He says, "Oh, what is this guy saying?"
I'm sure he's up.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
we'll see. So, yeah. And then go ahead and give me your next trade away, baby.
Next trade away. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna do two. I'm gonna do 2 for 1 here because these are
Okay.
two guys I currently own on my team, and that's Kenneth Walker and James Cook. I'm trading away both these
Oh.
guys. I feel
Oh.
I feel like
Okay.
Kenneth Walker is at his ceiling, like you were saying.
Yep.
I
Yep.
feel
I
like
completely agree.
he's
I have him on mine too. I have him on mine
yeah.
too.
Okay, so we can kind of both talk about this. I feel like he's at his ceiling.
Yeah.
He put up
Yeah.
30 points with 2 touchdowns last week.
Yep.
Got extremely lucky. He's got a talented back in the backfield for Seattle for
Yeah.
competition. Chabinet. They're basically splitting snaps.
Ah, you
And
told me he was trash earlier. You told me he was trash.
well, he is
Yeah.
trash, but he's trashier
Yeah.
than Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
What's your reasoning for trading him away?
I mean, you look at him last year. He was going to possibly regress this year in touchdowns because he just didn't score that many touchdowns. And the games he did score touchdowns, similar to the last one, he scores like two at a time. So I think if he's not, if he's not putting it in the end zone like that, I think he's someone who's going to get you like around that 11-ish, 15-ish points. And for what he is right now and the hype around him, I really think you could piece him with someone else and get McCaffrey. I really think that's a possibility that you could do with Kenneth Walker currently right now, just because
You think you could
everyone
piece
like.
together like a Kenneth Walker and like somebody else for Amon Ra and Bijan?
This is what he's trying to do currently with my team. This guy sent me so many damn trades today. This man's cooking with damn ramen noodles. It's
All right, well
fucking
let's
awesome.
try it right now. Let's try it right now. So Happy Endings has C-Mac. I will
Yeah.
trade Kenneth Walker and who else should I trade?
But also, it depends on his team. And also, you did a trade with him last week.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so let's see. Who else does he have?
For wide receivers or running backs?
Running backs, wide receivers, everything. Well, actually, no. Happy ending. Shit, that's literally.
Yeah,
I'll
you can look.
All right, I'll look real quick. Give me your next person while I do this, if you got
Yeah,
one.
next person. Oh, I can talk about James Cook a little bit. I feel like James
Oh yeah,
Cook.
yeah.
I think he's a very consistent back. Right now, he's position ranked 12 overall. I think he has the potential each week to get like 13, 14, 15 points. I'd say like an average of like 14, 15 points each week. So if you're looking for, consistency, I could see that being a selling point for trading him. And again, it depends on what your teams need. But the past 2 weeks, he's had 100 yards and no touchdowns
Yeah.
yet. And he's gotten 13 points, 19 points, 10 points. He gets one touchdown. That's well over 17, 18, close to 20 points. And I know it's not his ceiling, but that's potential what he has to do. So someone else could recognize that and say, "Hey, good, good average point getter each week. I might want someone who's average, as opposed to maybe someone has like a bell cow running back, like I don't know, maybe a Kenneth Walker,
Yeah.
maybe like a Bijan, but their RB2 is ass, and they need like a decent RB2. I think James
Yeah.
Cook is a good option. So you have to search who has a good running back paired with a bad running back who could potentially need an upgrade in the running back 2 position and maybe trade like a wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking at Matt's team, I think in order to get it done, you would have to give up Kenneth Walker, and I think possibly give up. The problem is he's got Ford, but I would say Coop to get C-Mac. Because I'm looking at his team, his flex currently right now is pretty weak with Drake London. He has no other wide receivers after that.
So that's what that looks like there.
What does it say towards you? Yeah, that's what I would do. But the problem is, does that actually help your team or not? And also, with him having Jerome Ford as his RB2 currently, that would be something he'd have to figure out if he wants to completely buy into the Cleveland offense.
Scheme.
But I think that's a possibility you can do for C-Mac. You could send it to him and see what he says. I don't know, but I don't know if that's something you want to do with your team or not. But
Well, I acquired him last week from. He had Kenneth
yeah,
Walker,
just send him
I
back.
acquired him, so I
You
just be like
grabbed him and
returning.
then send him back.
I'd be flipping his own players.
Yeah, that's another thing too. It's kind of tough because I feel like he probably has his own thoughts on Kenneth and was willing to give him away. So, yeah.
You think that could be true for like an Eckler? Like you could go after an Eckler?
Yeah, probably for sure. I think so. You could for sure do that. Now, I'll be honest. I mean, even adding Coop to that with Kenneth to get at Eckler. I mean, that low key. I mean, I don't want to say they would win that trade, but I don't know. I mean, I think that'd be. I think that's close enough to where if you like Eckler that much, I think you could possibly do that. But on your team, just curious, who could you recoup from? No pun intended. From losing Coop.
Not good. I'd have to start like a Josh Palmer
Yeah. So.
or
Yeah.
like a Josh Palmer or Rondell Moore.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I
So
mean, in this situation, it helps you. But this is like, I think that's possibilities that you can do is possibly for Kenneth. So, yeah, he was definitely one of mine. One of my people that I think you need to get off your team
yeah, who's
is
your other one?
Mr. Fields. You got to get my boy Fields off the
Who?
team. But when I say get Fields off the team, wait 1 week. Wait after this Denver week because this Denver week he will probably do good. I assume he's going to do good. This defense is trash for Denver, and someone's got to win this game too between Russell Wilson and Fields. But I think that not Fields gets back on track, but he scores a good enough amount of points to where everyone thinks, okay, he's starting to get back to where he is, and everyone remembers what he did last year. So you figure out who that manager was who had it last year, or you just try to sell high on what you had at Fields because I think Fields is absolute. I could see them trying to get Caleb Williams in a draft this year. I don't think Fields is going to be their QB for the remainder of the days
Much
at the
longer.
Bears. Yeah, so I think Fields is someone you could trade high after this week when he does good against the Denver Broncos and just let it be what it is.
Yeah. My last one I would trade for is, or not trade for, but trade away is your boy DeAndre Swift. I feel like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
I feel like he's one of those guys that's at his ceiling. And I almost view him as like a Kenneth type person, where you could maybe
Yeah.
piece together him and like a wide receiver for a more established running back, like a Josh Jacobs or maybe like an RB top 10 type of
Yeah.
guy. So I feel like DeAndre Swift is definitely at his peak. So I
Yeah,
think
I mean,
he,
yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. Don't get me wrong, I love Philly, big Philly boy, but this backfield will continue to get mixed up at some point. I mean, we haven't even seen anything out of Mr. Glass, who loves to break super easy, and yeah, I mean, Penny, he's got to come in at some point, I feel like. And then we're going to have Gainwell coming back. Boston Scott's currently a little bit banged up, but, and you got to know Swift, too. He's eventually going to get banged up at some point. But the whole point of the trade away, it's either we don't like what's coming ahead or we think someone's at their complete ceiling. And I would agree. I think Swift is at his ceiling. He could manage this for a couple more games. I haven't looked at game script, but I do know this. And a couple of games ahead, he's going to have to start going up against people like Kansas City. He's going to have to go up against Buffalo Bills. He's going to have to go against San Francisco. He's going to have to go against Dallas. And there's a stretch between those where I do not want to own Swift. I mean, I may be playing for one more game this upcoming week, but against the Commanders. But I mean, besides that, I prefer to stay away from, or not stay away, but I prefer to trade away Swift and, like Scotty was saying, piece him with someone to get someone else. And I think someone who you could use as good brand value right now is Derrick Henry. I don't like Derrick Henry right now. We were kind of talking a little bit about it before the pod. And the reason why I don't like Derrick Henry is this. Don't get me wrong. I think he is still kind of the Yeti, but his team is going to be losing all the time this year. I mean, I think they're one of the franchises on the verge of really like turning over. Will Levis is going to start at some point, which is really scary. And then their offensive line is complete trash. And then also too, you look at the team, their defense is set up to where everyone passes on them. And if everyone's passing on them, more than likely, points are getting scored a lot quicker. And with the offense already kind of struggling pretty good, I don't see where Yeti's going to be in a situation where he's going to have good game script for him to just run and do what he normally does. If this offense was a little bit better, could stay in games more, I would think that would be good. But I don't know. The only thing I do like about Henry is that in the playoff run, he gets to play the Texans twice and he plays Seattle once. So that's probably the cakiest matchup for running backs in the playoffs. But it depends on where everything is at that point. And currently, right now, he's starting to inch, or not inch. He's starting to inch closer to splitting role with Mr. Spears. And this has been the first person ever in the backfield to split a role with Derrick Henry. Most of the time, he's had it all to himself, and no one's really been able to compete. And Spears has been competing, and he's been getting really good carry per yards and all that. I mean, he's been really coming into his own. But you just look at this team as a whole, and to be honest, I just really don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, and I don't think it's really helping Derrick Henry as he's on this age cliff as far as that 30-year-old is for the running backs. So I prefer to trade him away in a league where his name still holds a lot of value. Like, I mean, I think another person, he has no value right now, but in one of my leagues, I was able to go get AR, which is Anthony Richardson, and I traded away Jared Goff and Odell. Odell hasn't done anything, but Odell has such a brand name to where, depending on your league, they might see Odell and be like, oh, okay, shit. Like, he might come to his own, like, later, it's Odell. So those are, like, ways that you can go about as far as making these trades. You got to figure out your league. You got to know your league, and then you got to know the people you're trading with. What do they want? What do they need? And just dial all that in, and that's how you're going to really be able to move and get some of these people. So,
One final thought I want to ask you before we hang up is
yeah, baby.
what are your thoughts on Dell for the Texans?
Dell?
Tank
I
Dell,
think
yeah.
I think Tank Dell, I think he'll be pretty good. You look at last week, and another person I wouldn't mind trading away is Dameon Pierce. I don't think last week was very rare. They're not going to be ahead in many games. They're going to be behind a lot more games. CJ's still a beast, but they're going to be behind in some games. But I think between Tank Dell and Nico Collins, you can get some. You're going to get some good volume from them, and Tank Dell is pretty quick. Now, the problem with Dell is he's so small. We haven't seen anyone this small before really last that long and like provide actual big fantasy output. So I think Tank Dell's a really good hold right now. And I mean, you can maybe, if you need to, start him in a flex, but I would be holding him to see exactly what's going on. But he's a rookie who's kind of tore it up in his first 3 games, and it's really between. It doesn't make sense either. Robert Woods has. He's still been kind of a ball hog on this team, getting balls. So I assume that's eventually going to regress to where he will eventually fall off or get injured or something because he's dust. He shouldn't even be in the league. And I think Nico Collins and Dell it'll be between them both weeks, and they'll be back and forth between who's better. But I mean, I like Dell. I think he's quick. I think he's good. And I think CJ, he's proven that he can throw, and he's proven that the Texans have proven they're willing to sling it if they need to. So.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to ask
What do you
because
think?
that's kind of the buzz. Well, actually, I also asked because I picked him up on waivers in my other league, my work league.
Yeah.
So I'm between. I don't know if I should start him this week, but I kind of feel like I should just to give him a shot. But
Who's the people you think about starting between him?
well, I have Christian Watson.
I would not start Watson this week, just on the fact of him coming back off the hamstring. You don't know what all is going to be happening, if he's going to be on a pitch count or what. I can tell you Tank Dell won't be. And let's see, who's Tank Dell play this week?
They play Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
a favorable matchup
their corner's already kind of beat up. The defense is good, but their corner's recently been a little beat up, and I think it's a good matchup for them. So, I mean, if I was you, you might want to put it in there. Who else rather than Watson is competing for the flex?
Just really him. I mean, I have like Juju, Treylon Burks, Brian Robinson.
If I was you, I'd throw Tank Dell in there. I think that's going to be a move.
I think I will. Yeah.
Watson,
Just to fuck around and
Watson
see.
will be good. Watson will be good. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're good. Let's wrap this thing up.
Yes, sir. This has been a trade away segment. If y'all like this, be sure to let us know. And y'all can always drop in the comments as far as trades and all that stuff that you like and whatever, we'll respond to them. So
Yeah, let's get a conversation going. Like, start to ask like, what I mean, you see like in all the time in like discussions on either ESPN or like Yahoo, where people like AJ Brown and Jerick McKinnon for Chris Olave and fucking throwing your running back Jonathan Taylor or some shit like that. Just get trades going, get some conversation going. If you guys want to get some opinions on other people, make that as like a little like comment section going.
Yeah. So all right, I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care and peace, baby. Have fun with your trades.